Hello, 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 hello. Good morning. Mid-morning for me, anyways. Um, this is my third video. Uh, Today what we're gonna do is we're gonna do some neurographic abstracts, and I think these are really, really fun. So, um, I'm gonna create the background with watercolors. These are just Paul Rubens, nothing fancy. Um, I'm getting some Kuretake paints today from Amazon Prime. I've been waiting, and I'm very excited. Um, but today we're just going to use our regular paints. I'm going to create a background, and then I'm going to create neurographic lines on it based on what I'm seeing. So I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how it's going to come out, but we're just going to go with it. So I just use my little mister to wet down my paints. Now, this is going to be the back, and this is going to be the front. I've got some masking tape on here just for a little bit of a border, and they're not even, but I'm not really concerned about that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to first wet down the back, and then I'm going to turn it over so that it will cause less warpage. Here's my little hang on. And I'm just using I'm getting new brushes today too. I'm so excited. Okay, I'm just using a large brush that'll hold enough water, 3/4 of an inch, 19 millimeter. So I'm just going to wet the back, do a nice little, oh, I have some paint on the rim of my glass. I don't know if you can see it. But we're just going to wet this down. And then that way, when I wet down the front and start the painting, it will not curl as badly while I'm painting. Okay, so we can see it's not dripping wet or anything. There we go. So now I'm going to turn it over. See how it's curled? So now I'm going to turn it over. Which way do I want to go? First decision, which way do I want to go? Oh, let's just see here. Wait, okay. I think I'm gonna go vertical. Okay, let's just do that. So if you look at my palette too, it's a real mess. So I want to use up all of this stuff up here, these earthy tones. I want to get that used up. So I'm going to see how it's curly. I am going to put some water down on the bottom, right? You can see that. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to pick up some of this. Okay, so I'm not going to worry too much about seeing the paint. Because I don't have a lot of room here, I'm just going to pick it up. And I'm just using the same brush because this here, I'm going to be doing really wide applications of paint. Okay. Oh, let's just grab up this paint. There we go. And then as we go, that's better. I'm just gonna put this down here. And we're going to do this. And I want it to be decently wet. Now on my little palette here, you'll notice I've got all these different colors all mixed together. And I'm just picking up all of them. There we go. And I think I want to have some of this reddish orangey brown. There we go. And then what I'm going to do, get my coffee sorted out here. I want to use some decently clean water. And I usually have a cloth here. I gotta find my cloth. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to go up here, and I'm not worried if my brush isn't perfectly clean, because then you can at least see what I'm doing. You notice I'm doing it kind of uneven here. And then I'm gonna pull it down, and I want to just brush. You see how that comes up? There we go. There we go. All right. Now, this, I'm going to take off some of this water, clean my brush, and I want to go in with some greens. So I'm going to grab some greens off of here. And we're just going to really make it wet. Really wet. Pull off some of this color. There we go. And this is kind of a bright green. I'm thinking I want it a little bit more earthy. So I'm just going to, still using my really big brush here, because I just want it to be really fluid. There we go. And I wanna leave some white spots. There we go. All right. Okay. So we've got this here. And maybe throw in some of this kind of khaki green. Just now these paints dry quite a bit lighter. So we're just gonna do that. Then let's take some more water and we're gonna go up here. So I wanted just to do some like geologic layers, like earth layers. And so I want to be able to pull up a little bit of these colors, but I still want, look at that. It looks like almost like a tree. I'm really quite happy about that. Okay, there we go. And then what I want to do is I want to bring some more yellowy tones. Because why not? And then we'll bring this brush back and we'll just pull some off. Right? It's hard to see because it's a little bit. Okay, now I'm also going to come and spread some of this around. And I'm also going to do a little trick while some of this paint is wet. And I'm going to come with my paper towel just to create a little bit more texture. And this is going to really help when it comes time to do the neurographic part, the doodle part. Okay, so here, let's see, what if we did a little bit more? Well, if it's looking kind of like sky situation going on here, let's put some water down. And you notice that it's not even underneath my palette now, and it's not bowing. Okay, so let's let the water touch a little bit. I saw this kind of technique on another channel the other day, and I have to say I was just like, oh, I have to try that. So I have a little hair here. There we go. Okay. Okay, so now I want to go in with, I want to do some blue, but I don't want it to be a cold blue. I want it to be a warmer blue. Kind of almost a gray, I want to say. So let's just see. How is that? Oh, that's the, oh, okay, I'm liking that. All right. Because these are all kind of warmish colors. This is a really nice gray. I just took a darker blue and put it into my dirty, grungy palette up here. And then maybe what I'll do is add a lighter blue to that and see if we can come up with a lighter situation. There we go. It's like a blue gray, and then and I don't want it really pooling too much on the sides. Oops, masking tape there. There we go. Wow. Okay. And then for this last layer, let's take some water and go right up to the edge here. And of course, now the water's kind of dirty, but I'm not really caring because I want it to have this, I don't know, muddy kind of look to it. And then I'm going to add, what do I want to add? Maybe I'll add a little bit of this, a little bit of the warmer yellow, kind of mustardy color. And then that the blue gets pulled in. That's really kind of cool, eh? Okay, there's that. And I'm thinking, there we go. Okay, so now I'm gonna clean this brush out a bit here, and I'm gonna get a smaller brush. I usually have like a microfiber cloth for wiping my brush, but I don't have one here right now. Okay, so if we're going to do the same kind of thing here, let's get some of this extra paint off of here. Wipe some of this off of here. But you can see we're going for kind of a warm gist. And get some of this flowing, right? And then if we take a smaller brush, and let's see, I'm gonna go in here And I'm going to do some darker. There we go. Okay. I'm going to go in here. Can you see how we have some lights and some medium tones? I want to go and do a little bit darker colors. So I'm still going to clean off some of what I've got in my pan here. And I'm going to take this and we're just going to like literally do this. And remember, this is going to dry a lot lighter. But I want to have some character to this. And so if I do a little bit of here, right? And then I get a little bit more water just so that we can smooth things out a little bit here. And this is, I would have to say this is probably in the ugly stage. And we all know that watercolors start, hopeful, and then we end up with a bit of a ugly phase. So we're just gonna do this, and I just want to have some deepening colors. And then I'll take most of the color off, and I'm just going to do the side of my paintbrush. I don't know if this makes sense to do it this way, but I'm just going to do it. And because we just want some layering effects here of different colors. I want to say different depths of color, right? So we don't want too much on there. And yeah, it's gonna dry way lighter. But we still don't want too much on there. And so I'm going to take some water, and I really want to soften up these edges. I don't want there to be any really hard edges. I've been really excited about trying this. I really enjoy neurographic art and doodles, and this is going to be kind of a mishmash because it's not going to be technically neurographic art. It's going to be some doodles, and it's going to be a little mishmash of everything. So now I'm going in with a little bit of a darker mustardy color here to mix in with the green, I want to say. And this time I'm going to kind of pull down the mustardy color into here. And we'll see what happens. And let's get some more water. I want to let's just really go. Let's just bring it down a little bit. That's that. Oh, that's an interesting little wanawa right there. Okay, so these we can come in with some darker blue. I like the idea of the darker, dark blue here. Let's bring this up to the edge. And we see how it's still a little bit wet here. So we're going to really let it pull up. And let's take some of this water off. Just scooch this a little bit. And then that way we can allow this blue to run up. Let's do a little bit here. Scooch it up. Scooch it up. Yeah, so it's definitely at the ugly stage. So let's do this a little bit. And we're going to take our paper towel and just really gently rub. And it's going to just basically take off those harder edges too. So we've got these layers, right? And I think I still want to do this darker. I think I still do. I want to I'll take a little bit of this green. I wanna just do it a little bit darker to give it some more dimension, I think. Down, 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 like this. Right? And then if we do a little bit darker right here, then let it and I'm not gonna overwork it. I keep telling myself that, but I'm not going to. Not going to overwork it. Let's take some of this up. There we go. A little bit more water. Let's do this a little bit more water. Right? Let's take a little bit of this off. We want it a little bit lighter. And then we'll just do this. So we're getting a lot of different colors, but they're not muddy yet. So we don't want to get it to the point where they turn into mud. Okay. All right. So I just want to scooch this, soften this up a little bit. Now, because we're going to doodle on it, it's not such a big deal if we have like hard edges. So I'm just going to do that. So now what we're going to do, get some coffee. Okay, we're just going to put this aside for a minute. Let it dry a bit. I want it to dry a little bit naturally. I don't want to rush it. Okay? So one thing I thought we could do while that is drying, let's just grab another. I wanted to show the pieces of watercolor paper that I just I pre-cut, so that if I want to do something simple, I already have a piece of paper cut. Now I'm gonna get my wide brush again, and I'm not gonna care that my water is dirty. Okay, and do this, and I'm gonna just put a bit on the other side. There we go. And we're gonna work on this side. Get my hairs off there. Get my dog hairs off there. Get everybody's hairs off. Okay. Okay. So something I wanted to try. Let's get a little bit more water on. I have uh, some inks. So these are just acrylic inks, right? Acrylic ink. Okay. So what I want to do, I'm just going to give it a shake. I'm going to get more water on here. Get a decent amount of water on here. So you can see how wet that is, right? So now I'm just going to take and drop. Now, I'm going to actually zoom in nice and close so that you can see what's happening. Hang on here. Let's zoom, zoom, zoom. And then we're going to autofocus. There we go. Let's get this in here. All right. So let's see what's happening here. It does this really, really nice explosion type thing. See that? That is just so cool. Okay, and then we're going to see how this also dries. So we're going to put them, because they spread out so much. Here's the red. And I'm going to do a little bit of blue. One drop. One drop. Come on, you can do it. Oh my goodness. It's not going to. Hang on. There's a big air bubble. There we go. And then, so I got green, yellow, red, and do more yellow. There. And then let's do a splurb. Shake it up. White. I don't know what that is. Okay. So you can't really see what the white's doing, but it's there. And then let's do a splurb of black just because we can. And we'll do that right in the middle. Come on. You see that bubble? There we go. Oh my goodness, look at that. Okay, so that's really, really cool. Okay, and then I have another area up here. Let's just do a bit more red. We do it right up in the corner so that it has a chance to come down. And then let's just see what's happening here. Oh, look at what's happening there. That is really kind of cool, hey? And then the green is receding. And then, okay, what if we took a little bit of the green and we put a little bit more there's not very much water in there. Okay, wait. What if I use my little mister? Just make sure. There we go. Let's use the little mister. That was a lot. Okay. But That was interesting. Let's go a little bit higher and just a little bit. There we go. Okay, so we got some splatters going on. And can we do this without? Okay, yeah, we can do that. Okay, so then you got a little bit of green in there. And then what else do we want? Do we want something more up here? Oh my goodness. This is kind of really kind of cool. Let's just see. What do we want up here? I don't. What if? Yeah. Let me just see what I've got. Hang on. Okay. I've got a little bit of this kind of goldy color. So, hang on, hang on. Where are my pipettes? No. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. Okay, so if I took this and I have a little pipette. Okay, so this is kind of a bronzy gold color. And then, oh, I mean, like, why don't we just go nuts? Okay, so we pop those a little bit. And then, this is basically an ink. This is an ink you would use with like a dip pen or um, other kinds of stuff. Now, what if I do this? Let me just reach. Pardon me, pardon my reach, pardon my reach. Oh, pardon my reach. Yes, let's try that. Why not? Okay. So, this is just experimenting. I'm just going to rinse this little guy out a little bit. Now, this is alcohol. Okay, I think I like that. I think I enjoy that a lot. That's just using a little pipette with a little bit of alcohol. Hey, I think I'm enjoying this. Okay. And we're just gonna play. And we're gonna see what happens. Look at that. That's awesome. Okay, that is very cool, I have to say. Okay, so what do you think? I think we're gonna let this dry, and then we're gonna use this to sort of clean out our pipette too. See if we can clean it out. Okay, I'm just trying to get this cleaned out before it stays in my pipette. Okay, so this little experiment, like you can see, it's only a little tiny. It's not a very big piece of watercolor. So let's just zoom out so that we can see where we're sitting here. Right? So we can see how big it is. It's not a very big piece, right? Okay. So we're gonna put these away before they spill everywhere, as is the custom. Okay. And these are just acrylic inks. That's it. I got them as per normal at Amazon. Put these away. There. And the black one too. Clean up as you go. There we go. All right. So we're going to just let that dry on its own as well. Huh, that's interesting. I wonder if my gold is going to end up being a little bit less sparkly here than it is here. Because you can see where the alcohol was and where it was not. So we're going to see what happens with that. Okay, so to keep our area clean, I'm excited about this. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I am excited to see what happens. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. See how there we are. So you can see how we've got all these different markings on here. Look at that. It's kind of cool. Okay, so we're going to be working on this one. So I want to put, and I'm going to actually use the hair dryer a little bit on this guy because he's still a little bit damp. Okay. All right. Okay. So this is a little bit better now. I'm going to get this alcohol and acrylic one out of the way. Cooper baby. Poor dog. Okay. Nope, come here. Okay. So this is what we're doing here. Okay. We're gonna close this. We're gonna get these out of the way so that we can bring our alcohol our doodle markers here. I'm just using these fine line drawing pens. Um, Again, they were basically on sale. Okay, so when I look at this, I'm thinking, I see the different layers. I want to do some neurographic type ideas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow the lines that I see. I just want to create these lines, and this is where the zen of it comes in. All right, so I will zoom in a little bit so that we can just kind of watch the doodle process going on. Okay, I just want to make sure it doesn't focus. Okay, so we're going to take this off and we're going to how's that? Okay, hopefully it's good. Hmm. Okay, that should be good. Okay, yeah, that should be good. Okay, so we're gonna go here, and I can see the uh different colors, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of follow it around. This is where the zen comes in. And it doesn't, the beauty is it does not have to be perfect. So I'm going to sit here and I'm going to say, oh, that is a natural, right? And then, okay, let's come over here and see what's going on over here. This here comes like this. And right now I'm just getting these lines in because I'm going to round out the corners in a minute. Okay, so neurographic art, true neurographic art is supposed to help you process emotions and things like this. And they do that by being very purposeful in how you round any corners. So when I'm here, the corner comes to a point. That would be bad. You're supposed to be a lot more freeform with true neurographic art and let your kind of emotions or use your non-dominant hand or things like this to be able to help you to um, just get the lines down. And then the meditative part comes in when you are rounding the corners. So, but mine, my adaptation is that I let the watercolor patterns decide for me where the lines come in, right? And then what I need to do is I need to fill in these corners. So where it is here, let's say, what I would do is I would come here and then I would fill this in so that it's not at a point. It needs to be beautifully rounded like that. Okay, so that is how uh, you round the corners for neurographic art. So I'm just going to come here and find anywhere where there might be a pointed corner. And I will bring my pen and purposely round that corner. So I'm going to come here. And sometimes I'll just kind of go with the flow and see whether it should be a big rounding or not. So here we've got two corners and I'm just going to round this out like this. So this is rounded, but this is not rounded very well. So I'm going to round all of this situation. And you can easily get really lost in doing this. Put some music on, not even think about it. Sometimes I'll even start with a blank piece of paper and let the lines decide where they're going to go without the watercolor. Maybe watercolor it afterwards, maybe not. Um, and this, our painting, our lovely little painting here is still in the ugly stages. So hopefully in a few minutes we will be out of the ugly stages, but you can see how these lines are starting to help it. And I like doing these lines a little bit thicker because I'm going to also add some other lines. You see how I've got a lovely little circle here? I'm going to go like this and then round and make sure that these are all rounded just like that. And I'm going to also be adding other really thin, wispy lines as well. So where are we at? Let's go down here. And this is where I would be watching TV or I would be listening to the radio. Maybe if you're doing this at the same time, then we're just doing this together. There we go. I'm going to come this way and round this here. So we don't want any hard edges, right? And I'm not worried that there's other colored stuff here just yet. I probably will fill those in or create line work around those situations. But right now I'm just doing my main bits. So we're here and we're going to round. Everything gets rounded. Everything. And if you end up making a point where you didn't mean to, that's fine too. Sometimes I'll end up just filling in areas. See how it was kind of wiggly and now I'm smoothing it out. think I'm going to smooth this one out too. Because I'm not really keen on this, and I think that kind of goes along with the neurographic art, is you want to make it smooth. So, I mean, I can just redo these lines. And the paint kind of goes along with me there, right? So I'll just make this bigger, fill this in completely, and maybe even just, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna make this a really big black line. Now, the thing is, I don't do this for a living. This is just my way of chilling out, relaxing. You know, we all have anxiety, and for some of it's a little bit more difficult to deal with than others. And this is a really, really great way to calm your mind down because you really can't do this and have a racing mind at the same time. Okay, I'm gonna round this out a lot more. Actually, there we go. Yeah, I like that better. Okay, and then this is gonna be rounded nicely. And I'm gonna fill it in. And I mean, if you wanted to be really detailed, this could take, a number of hours easily. And I'm just gonna smooth this over that like that. Oh, see, I'm kind of making that corner a little bit sharper, so I gotta make sure that these corners are rounded, right? This guy too, he's wanting to get pointy. We don't want any pointy edges or corners, right? Even this one is a little bit pointy for my liking. So the fact that you have to focus on rounding all of these corners just makes it so meditative. And you want to be creating these really nice smooth lines. I know for some neurographic art where it's used for art therapy and things like this, you have to be, sometimes they use a coin, sometimes you use your non-dominant hand and things like this to really create the unpredictable lines. And according to the science, it will help create new neural pathways as you're working on it, which is kind of interesting. And I mean, we all know that art is used a lot in therapy and is really good for your brain. And so it doesn't really surprise me that that's a thing. So, and I know how it makes me feel, so I just go with it. I just go with it. Let's see what happens. Sometimes what I do too is I will have um, some of the law streamers on because I follow some of the court cases, and that's really, really interesting. And so I'll just have that in the background on YouTube, which is kind of fun. And sometimes when you're going over watercolor paint, sometimes your liner pens want to misbehave and they kind of get clogged up, but you just wipe them off. And then that works really well. And sometimes, depending on the size of my piece, I will sometimes just go for it and use a thicker marker. But the act of going over it and over it is sometimes really, really good. It just adds to that meditative process. So you can see we're getting a little bit more detail. Sorry, bumpity bump. And it's coming, it's kind of moving away from the ugly, ugly stage, which is quite nice. So you just have to just go with it. There's so many times when I've thought that what I was working on was just not working. It was so ugly. And I just had to work through it and just finish it. And next thing I know, when I was finished it, it was like, oh, see, this is not so bad. And so just go with it and just finish it and just if you're more focused on the process and not the outcome, then 9 times out of 10 you'll be really happy with what you've done. There we go. And just round out everything. The other thing I like to uh, watch on the tubes is the reaction videos to old time music. Well, old time music. I'm not young. So for me, uh, my greatest memories for music would have been the 70s and the 80s. And then to have some of these uh, younger YouTubers reacting to this older music. Oh my goodness, it's so funny. It's hilarious. I have such a good time. Sometimes I'll watch that before I go to bed, and you see them just shocked. And especially those musicians or the bands who my generation all made fun of. So funny. So funny. And their first reaction is, "Oh my goodness, this is the best band ever." And meanwhile, we have sat there and said, "Oh yeah, they suck, they suck, they suck," make fun of them and blah blah blah. Especially disco, and it's rare that I've come across a YouTuber that does not like songs from the 70s that would have been classified as disco and reviled, probably just for fun by most people. So funny. And they're just like, oh my gosh, this had to be number one. This had to be a number one song. And most likely it was. But, everybody had to hate on everybody else's music, of course. I mean, it's really no different today. There we go. Now I'm going to be doing some different things with different parts of this image. So this is where I kind of uh, deviate from traditional neurographic art. I mean, it's all deviating really, but I really deviate because in neurographic art, there usually isn't doodles and things like this, but we're going to change that. And I think I'm actually contemplating if I want to. This is a number 0.1. I'm thinking I might go in with 0.3. Let's just see what the difference is here. Yeah, I might go in with a 0.3 just so that I can get these lines thicker in one go. Yeah, see, that's better, I think. See, and this is where my masking tape is, so I want to make sure it appears rounded. See, this is better. I don't have to go over it so many times. There we go. and rounding every single one. And invariably, I will miss some, of course, but I'll just go back and make sure I've got it. Oh, I'm so excited about my new paints coming. That's going to be absolutely awesome. Well, yeah, let's round this out. You can kind of, your brain kind of tells you where things are not looking smooth and calm. There we go. So let's go over here. And yeah, we just want to smooth it out. There we go. Okay, so we're going to just make sure everything feels calm and relaxed. Sometimes it means you just have to thicken up some of the lines, and you need to make sure they're rounded nicely, no jaggedy edges. And it's true too, when you look at like painted trees and things like this, those that have the branches that have the have rounded edges where the branches come out just seem more calm. And if you want to make a tree that creates more emotions, distress, then make those branches come out at jagged edges. It just seems to somehow create that feeling. So it doesn't surprise me that rounding these corners and everything would create a sense of calm, right? But here, places like this, you want to just widen it out a little bit so that it is truly, oops, smooth, and it doesn't make you feel like it's jaggedy, right? So this is why I wanted to opt for the wider tip liner. Will just allow us to smooth things over easier, right? Okay, so let's go over here and see what's going on here. This is smooth. All right, and then this, I think this needs to be smoother. Than that. There we go. Okay, so this, yeah, you can really see where things are not so relaxing and calm, right? Oh, there's my dog. Hang on. Okay. Dog's being let out to go to the bathroom. That's cool. Okay. There we go. And there we go. See, and just work on, you can make these lines as thick as you want to. If you're feeling like the lines are getting kind of jaggedy because you're shaky or something, just make them wider. That's all. Just keep going over them until it feels like they're smooth, right? There we go. And don't be afraid to cut your corners to make them feel smoother. See? There are no wrong answers. As long as it makes it feel relaxed and calm, then you did it right. Okay, so let's see this. Let's zoom out and see what's happening here. There. So this has gotten started pretty good. Now we're gonna do lots more. We're gonna do lots more. So here, what I like to do is I like to create words. And again, at first it's gonna look terrible, and then all of a sudden it's gonna all come together. So we're gonna remember we gotta have everything rounded inside here. No raggedy corners. Oh, there's the dog. There's the dog. Okay. So do you see what's oops, do you see what's starting to happen? All of a sudden, hey, don't all of a sudden it's looking more landscapey. So I see here this looks really good like this, but look at this. I see these things. Stop. My dog is licking. He's not supposed to be licking. Okay, so what else am I seeing here? I'm seeing this, and I'm going to round it. And, oh, there's another one that's coming up really good like this. So what's going to happen is we're going to have to round everything, right? There. What else do we see? We see these ones, obviously, right? So well, let's get these guys done. And again, round everything. And round that. And round this. Everything needs to get rounded, right? Stop. Okay. So let's just see where we're going with this. I think I'm feeling like this needs to also be broken up. Oh, look at there's not rounded edge. So let's do this. This. And you see, every time you do this, you ended up with a pointed bit, right? And then let's go here. Told you it wasn't going to end up anything like we'd think. And again, this needs to be rounded. That looks interesting. That looks interesting. Now, what do we want to do down here, though? I think the instinct is to just say, okay, let's just do this. And this. And then let's just attach them. And then, of course, round everything. Okay, and even this is just not quite rounded enough. There we go. And actually, let's just connect them. Why not? By a little guy. And then round it. There we go. And then I'm also seeing these lines here. So let's just connect them. Why not? And round and around. And then these are pointy, so I have to round these out. And this one. Interesting. Interesting. What else is happening over here? There's lots happening in here. Couple things I think I want to do though. I want. Let's see. I want. Let's. You see this line here? I want to do this line here. There. Now let's just round out these corners. And all the doodles we do are going to get rounded. Just playing into that neurographic art theme. Again, this is kind of what I was saying about the trees. You'll see how we get a different feeling for them, depending on if we round the bits or not. Okay, so make that a little bit wider, and then you see all of these bits we're going to round. And we're going to round this one. And we're going to make sure this one is round. So it creates more of a whimsical, calming effect. I don't know. And then, of course, here it's got to be rounded. And I'm going to make these just a little bit bigger, because why not? Okay, so see, this is not rounded. There we go. And this needs to be rounded better. And then I can create another one. Okay, and we're going to round that. And we're going to bring this here. Okay, and then, oh, this has been an hour and 20 minutes already, you guys. Okay, we're going to finish this up, I think, tomorrow. This just needs to happen. This needs to happen. And this needs to happen. Okay. All right, guys. I promise I'm not going to do anything on this until I stream tomorrow. Hopefully. Hopefully I won't. All right, I'm going to be calling it a day on stream because I need to eat lunch and my dog is driving me crazy because he's whining, whining, whining. But I'm going to go and eat lunch. Let's just have a look and see where we're at with this. Hang on, baby. There we go. Okay. See, it's slowly coming away from ugly. What's going on with this? This is still drying. That's going to be fun to do. That's going to be fun. We're going to just be really patient and let it dry on its own. Um, okay, guys, I'm going to head out and we're going to continue on with this at our next stream. And you're going to see it transform from ugly to something spectacular. Okay, guys, I'm going to stop for now and I will see you on another day. Be creative and have an awesome, awesome day. The dog is just so sad. Okay, have a good day, guys. I will see you again tomorrow or Friday.